Okay. So we have I think Vivian, I think you were here earlier today. Looks like we have Ashley and Rosalind here as well. If you have any questions, please ask away. Okay. All right. And then I also just posted there's a link there so you can download the my practice test copy for you guys. There's my email address, and if you go on YouTube and search for Dr. Rad, the Rad Tutor, you will find my information and some questions to help answer some of these other things. Like I said, so I saw, and thank you for typing out the question. I don't know if it's easier just to share a screenshot or something, but the practice test that you guys have was an actual test that was given in 2016 that I don't have a copy of myself. It is a test that I created, but I don't have a copy of it because I have since updated the practice tests. So I just want to make sure that you know that you're responsible, at least to my knowledge, to also be doing a heparin protocol question. So if it's, you did it last semester, so you should be able to, it's going to be the same type of question, but if you need a refresher on that, just make sure you review the heparin question on your on the practice test that's in that link that's there, and please share that link with whomever. So I will go ahead and do question 16 from your packet so we can see that together. So you have an IV of 500 milliliters is infusing at 120 milliliters per hour with a drop factor of 15. What is the drop rate? So there's extra information in this question. The 500 milliliters that's listed, that doesn't mean anything. We don't need it to solve the math. That just tells us how much is in the bag. So in order to solve a flow rate question, all I need to know is the 120 milliliters per hour. And then because we're going to be calculating a drop rate, I'm just going to turn that hour into 60 minutes times the drop factor, which is 15 drops per milliliter. And then that equals 30 drops per minute. Does that help you, Ashley? Or answer your question, Ashley?
Yes, it does. The 500 was confusing me, so thank you.
You're welcome. Yep, that's, believe it or not, you'll see questions like that possibly on the NCLEX and things like that. So that's why they asked that those types of questions be on there. So now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Vivian, what question number is that?
Oh, sorry. So it's just give me a minute. Let me look at it.
Oh, is that the one that I gave you?
Yeah, it's 22.
I just want to make sure I have the same. Oh, okay. So for you, it's question 22?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question about that one too. So that's great. You're going over that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Great. All right. So with the heparin IV set to infuse at 750 units per hour, the solution strength is 25,000 units of heparin in 1 liter bag of D5W. Now we got to calculate the flow rate of milliliters per hour. So because I know I'm looking for the flow rate in milliliters per hour, I'm going to start with the initial infusion rate that they gave us. And the initial infusion rate that they gave us is the 750 units per hour. Now, I don't want units per hour, I want milliliters per hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the information they gave for the 25,000 units of heparin in a 1 liter bag you know that 1 liter is the same thing as 1,000 milliliters. And so I don't want units. I want milliliters. That helps to cancel out the units. We're left with being in milliliters per hour. And then we get whatever that comes out to be.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a calculator on with me, but I had this question earlier, or it was a similar type of question, and they asked, how did I know to like arrange this the way that it is? Well, first of all, that's why I'm running the review session, right? So that's the obvious, being an ass type of answer. But what I rationalize is we want milliliters per hour. So in my mind, I'm thinking I want milliliters on top and I want hours on the bottom. And then because I'm looking for a rate and I have a rate already given, I start with the rate. So basically I'm just going from one rate to another rate. If, another way of looking at that is if you've ever been in your vehicle and you see like it says miles per hour and it also says kilometers per hour, that's all we're doing. We're just transferring units. So instead of units per hour, we want milliliters per hour, and this is how we do that conversion.
So the 1 liter bag, is it at 1,000?
Yeah, 1 liter bag, 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, these questions aren't intentionally supposed to be tricky, but sometimes you're looking for it to be more difficult. And that all just plays into your math anxiety that runs rampant in the nursing profession, or at least nursing student profession.
Professor Ra,
Yes.
there is question number 23 that looks the same like the one you just solved.
Okay.
But there is this one has an IV added onto it.
Okay. You want to go ahead and read me the question?
Yeah, let me read the question. The physician orders heparin IV to infuse at 1,250 units per hour. The IV is 500 milliliters D5W with 25,000 units of heparin added. What is the flow rate in milliliters per hour?
Okay. So again, I'm going to set this up the exact same style that I did for the last question. So I'm going to start with my rate. My rate is the 1,250 units per hour. So I apologize, I don't write hard enough and my stuff doesn't show up here. Okay. And I'm going to multiply by that what's in the bag. So I always say, like you told me, 500 milliliters D5W that contains 25,000 units of heparin. I just imagine that's one bag, and we can't separate those numbers. All I can do is either put one on top or one on bottom. What tells me what to put where is when I'm trying to eliminate units and I want hours left alone. So I know that units will go on the bottom, and that happens to be the 25,000. And I want milliliters. So that's there. and then I eliminate my units, and I'm left with what I'm looking for. And that should give you your answer in milliliters per hour.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And just confirm, do you guys have a key to this practice test that you have?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, just confirm your answers. Sometimes, I mean, I'm notorious for creating mistakes on the keys. I usually go back and fix them, but that doesn't mean you got the updated copy. So if you're certain you got a right answer and it's saying that it's wrong, there's a chance the key is wrong. But I don't think someone would have brought that up already. So I don't think that's.
Okay.
Okay, here's another question here. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is that question 23, Ashley, that you just referred to is actually 24 on my my practice test. So so let me answer your question real quick. So this is also question 23, but a different 23. Diabetic patient, 9% normal saline, 500 milliliters, 100 units, 15 units per hour. What's the flow rate? So again, I'm going to start with my flow rate. And then what this will look like when you guys go back in and you do the heparin protocol again, really this is just like doing the heparin protocol for calculating the drip rate. You'll get to, after you account for the patient's weight, you get micrograms or I'm sorry, you get units per hour, and then you just got to convert it to milliliters per hour. So this is actually good practice for when you do the heparin protocol. And then all I'm going to do is multiply by and eliminate units and leave in milliliters. The units is 100, the volume is 500, and then it's just 5 times 15. Units gone, and I'm left with milliliters per hour. Some of these basic I don't want to say basic conversions because you might be thinking it doesn't seem basic because I'm getting hung up on it. But if you're trying to do like desire or ordered over have with these questions, it doesn't work out very well. So I would never tell you to do like 15 over 100 times 500, although that will work. If you are if you're having trouble with this, I would say practice the dimensional analysis approach, which is what I'm showing you here. And notice how I start exactly the same way every single time. I always start with my rate, units per hour, units per hour, units per hour, and then I just convert units to milliliters.
Could you go over another way to get those answers? Because I don't know, I tend to use a different way of getting the correct answers, but I was really stumped on 22. So is there like another way besides dimensional analysis to get that same answer?
So, like I said, you can finagle the numbers, but my caution on that is you might mess up where you put the 500 and the 100.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't recommend that way. But if I were going to do like the another version, which is if you're getting the right answer, you're doing it right. But another variation of this problem would be if I took my 15 units, right, over the 100 units, this would be units per hour, so I just leave that there, times the 500 milliliters, you would come up with the same answer.
Okay.
The only thing is I just don't like the way this looks, and I don't, and several years ago when I took over the drug calc stuff for CCAC, a lot of people were switching these numbers around and getting weird answers. And
Okay.
so I just tried to simplify it. But if you're getting the right answers and this looks more sane to you, then this would be the right way to set that up.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, yep, you're welcome. Oh, she already left.
For the heparin protocol, did you say we should go to your YouTube and get it from there?
You can get it from there. I worked out the same one that's in your packet, the 110-pound patient. I did that on the YouTube.
We don't have the heparin protocol on the package. Let me see, I don't have it.
Correct. No, yeah, because you have a different practice test than what you should have. The practice test if you click on that link in the chat, it'll go to my my Microsoft OneDrive, and then you can get the 240 packet that I created.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that way you can see it, and it's the same one that you should have seen in third semester nursing. So it's the same protocol.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me answer this Solumedrol question. And then also, Vivian, I'm going to be here on Thursday as well. So if you look at that or you look at the YouTube and it makes sense to you and just that's all you need, great. If not, just hop on here and just ask me to work through the protocol and I'll work through it for you.
Okay, I will. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so the Solumedrol question. So there's extra information here, just because I know this question. Whenever it asks for flow rate, all you need to know is volume and time. And then when it converts to drop rate, then you just need to know the drop factor. Knowing the strength, knowing the quantity, that doesn't really help or doesn't help to answer the question. So in order to answer this question, this is the information you need. You need the initial flow rate, which is the 120 milliliters, 30 minutes. You need the drop factor, which is 10 drops per milliliter. And then you're ready to go. You have drops per minute set up, and then you would get 40 drops per minute. Now for this one, because there is no commonality in the like with milliliters, like where you could do order over half, this is where I would recommend learning either the dimensional analysis or just do this flow rate times the drop factor. The flow rate is typically in milliliters per hour, but sometimes it's milliliters per minute. If they're looking for the drop rate, it's always going to be in drops per minute. The only variation to this would be converting minute or hours to minutes. But if it's already in minutes, you just leave it in minutes. Yep, you're welcome.
I have one more question, just because somehow I missed it last semester, is the insulin one where you like show how it's drawn up. And I know that might be kind of hard for you to show how to like label it on the thing, but can you just explain how, like what they're looking for? Because I thought, like, obviously if you're going to draw the regular insulin first, it's going to be at like the top. I mean, like probably it's going to mix together, but like that's what you guys want to see, right?
Right. Yeah. So, well, first of all, I don't grade your test. So, ultimately it's up to the lab instructor, but, and for the 4th semester test, I don't think you have to do an insulin syringe. Let me just double check my stuff here. You
Okay.
should, oh wait, you know what? It is on there. So,
Okay.
I can draw it out because I've already drawn it out a couple times today. So
Okay.
let me show you what they're looking for you to do. So
Okay.
first of all, when you answer that question, it's always going to be syringe B. So make sure you circle the correct syringe. And I would indicate there's like some bullet points and it'll say which solution and amount to be drawn up first. Just put the number that correlates with the regular insulin right beside that. That way, so like if it's 10 units regular insulin, write that. That way there's no doubt that you know which one you're drawing up first. And then the total is what they ask for. So the way that I think was probably most accurate for doing this is, so here's my syringe, here's my plunger side, and my needle side. So let's say I have 10 units regular and 40 units NPH. You know you're going to draw regular first, but the total is 50 units. So I'm going to put a mark here indicating the 50 units. Write that, okay? So that would be my total, so that when they ask you to do like a total, that's your total mark. Okay. When it says that there's 10 units of regular insulin, that 10 units is actually going to be between 40 and 50. And that's usually where the discrepancy comes in and people get upset about this. But between here and here is where the regular insulin is. Between here and here is where the NPH is. In reality, like you said, when we actually draw this up, they just mix. There's no way around that because that's just what happens. The only way they wouldn't mix is if you were in a vacuum environment in like a hypothetical physics situation. So they're gonna mix. But this is where they want you to indicate that the regular is closest to the total end or the plunger end.
Okay. You know what? I think that last time I didn't write it like out and I just did it all on the syringe, and they were like, well, it would mix together, so that doesn't make sense. You have to write it out. And I was like, okay. So I circled that. I'll do that this time. Thank you.
Yeah, the problem with that question is, first of all, it's not a math question. It's a procedural question. And you guys do insulin, and I feel like you get tested on that enough. I don't think this is a necessary question, but
yeah, it's really like simple math, like adding two numbers together.
Right, exactly right. The challenge is what they are really ultimately testing you on is that you're able to mark on the syringe. And I think that's what they care most about. So.
Okay. All right. I think that's all I had. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good luck on your test.
Thanks. Bye.
Yep. Bye.